Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing great, having a nice Thursday, I hope, and hope everyone is safe and sound wherever you are. All right, so today we are going to be taking a look into Soluna DAO. So Soluna DAO, it's a protocol which exists in Solana, and as you can tell from the name, it's a DAO, and it combines like two different networks, Solana and Terra. All right, we are going to be discussing everything about this. We will explore this together right now. In order to do that, what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at their docs. We are going to share some of our thoughts, and also we are going to be taking a look at their DApp and what you can do with it. We'll discuss everything, what are the benefits, pros and cons, and also just to make sure we are on the same page. As you know, these are DeFi protocols. There are different sorts of different type of risk, known and unknown risk. We are going to be touching on some of them, and some of them is for your own research. So always make sure to do that. All right. So what I'll do is all the links will be in the video description, so you can go through them in detail and learn more about this protocol. And of course, like we just want to test, right? So I mean, just use the amount or use the capital that you're willing to use for testing purposes only. All right, so let's jump right in. All right, so if you go to their website, which is soluna.money, you will find the docs right on the corner. We are going to be taking a look at the white paper. You can have a look at that. We'll take a look at their FAQs, the security aspect, and some of the core concepts, what consists of the Soluna DAO. All right, so let's jump right in. So in short, what they're trying to achieve is they are trying to use the potential of anchor protocols yield generating opportunity, which when you deposit UST in anchor protocol, you generate a yield. All right, so they're trying to leverage that. And anchor protocol, it lives in Terra blockchain. As you know, it's a dApp in the Terra blockchain. You can do all sorts of things like earning, borrowing, governance, and so on and so forth. And Soluna DAO, they're trying to leverage, as of right now, they're trying to leverage only the earn side of things from Anchor Protocol. All right, so and they're trying to use that and bring it over to Solana. And how do they do that? They use different sorts of protocols, and also they are using different sorts of protocols like Pylon protocol, Wormhole, and of course, like once you bridge it over to Solana, like you can once you can bridge the assets back to Solana, you can do all sorts of things. But what asset? Soluna has an asset. It's a composable stablecoin. Okay, so the Soluna protocol, it aims to create a decentralized and high yield composable stablecoin. And what is that composable stablecoin? Is nothing but UST. All right, we'll get into the detail what is solUST and what is the peg and so on and so forth. But just to understand, like they're leveraging Anchor protocol, to generate the yield by depositing UST, and they're leveraging Pylon protocol in order to split interest from the principal token. That means, like the principal is the amount you deposit and the interest is what you earn. So they're using Pylon protocol in order to split that so that you understand what was your capital and what's your the interest earned on that principal amount. And of course, like they use the wormhole bridge to go back and forth between Terra and Solana. All right, and yeah. So the basic thing is they are trying to create this, or they already have a decentralized stablecoin, which is composable between Terra and Solana. All right. Yeah, so what are the components? As I mentioned over here, Soluna protocol can be subdivided into below components. Okay, so the interest redirection, what happens through the Pylon protocol, and as we have touched on, the Pylon protocol, it splits the principal from the interest, allowing for deposits of UST that return Sol UST. All right, so yeah, they deposit UST in Anchor, and it returns like Sol solUST, and that's how they do that. And how do they do? How do they split the interest? Using the Pylon protocol and Wormhole bridge, as we mentioned. Like it's a bridge to go back and forth from Terra, Solana, Solana, and vice versa. Okay, and there are many networks which leverages this cross-chain protocol or bridge, the Wormhole token bridge. Okay. So what are the tokens involved in this Soluna protocol, and just to make sure you are aware of all the nomenclature. I know it could be challenging at times, but like I'm sure like if you're in DeFi, you know that already. Like there's like UST, which is native, and then you have Wormhole UST, which is like WUST, and so on and so forth. But I'm sure like it depends on the UX, and I'm sure like it's getting better. Yeah, it is getting better, and I'm sure in the future also it will keep getting better. But anyways, in Soluna protocol, you just have to make sure of you just need to understand these three things, all right? These three token names, all right, or nomenclature, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so Terra USD, it's represented as UST, as you're aware that that's the ticker symbol, and it's a native stable coin which exists in the Terra blockchain. All right, so and solUST, as I've mentioned previously, and as they mentioned, it's a composable stablecoin. That means it exists on Solana and it exists on Terra. Okay, so on Solana it uses the SPL standard, and on Terra it uses the CW20 standard. And SPL standard and CW20 standard, it's similar to like the fungible token representation in the Ethereum side of things, which is nothing but ERC20. So in Solana it's called like SPL, and in Terra it's called like the fungible tokens or assets are called CW20. All right, so these are the three tokens that you always need to have. Okay, so solUST can exist on both sides. It will appear in both the wallets, in Terra Station and on Phantom, whatever you use for Solana. So, and USD, which is natively which exists on Terra. Okay, but of course, like there are different variations of it in Solana side, because you can bridge it and you can wrap it and bridge it. All right, but just so that you're aware. All right. Now, interest redirection. We have touched on this in details in the overview section, but yeah. So interest redirection, how do they do that? The Soluna's interest redirection is a fork of Pylon protocol. So basically, they're taking some inspiration from Pylon protocol, and Pylon protocol is a protocol which is on the Terra side of things, and they basically once like they're trying to draw some inspiration from what Pylon protocol does. All right, they're trying to use the same sort of logic in Solana side of things. All right, and basically what they're trying to do is like this Pylon protocol, it helps distribute, or to split the interest from the principal amount that is deposited in Anchor. All right, so that is the same logic what they're trying to use. And how does it work? Like of course, like you deposit and withdraw, these are like the basic functionality. So let's see what they have to say. Sol UST and UST are always exchangeable one-to-one using the interest redirection contract. And the interest redirection contract is nothing but the fork of Pylon protocol, which is done by Soluna DAO. And on deposits, the UST deposited is funneled straight into Anchor, and on withdrawal, the corresponding amount of Anchor UST is redeemed using Anchor. All right, so Sol UST and UST are always like exchangeable one-to-one. It's pegged one-to-one, and the UST which is deposited to Soluna DAO. It's directly channeled into Anchor. Why? Because Anchor is where the yield is generated. All right. So, and on withdrawal, the corresponding amount of Anchor USD is redeemed using Anchor. And how do they bridge back from Terra side of things to Solana? By using the Wormhole bridge. All right. And interest collection. let's see what they have to say about this. At any time, the specified beneficiary of the contract can mint themselves an amount of solUSD totaling the value of the deposits in Anchor. The total amount of solUSD minted. Okay, so basically you can mint solUSD in Soluna DAO's interface or the dApp, and this is always backed by UST in Anchor. Okay, so in Terra or in Anchor. Okay, so yeah, this makes sure the Sol UST is never under collateralized. Okay, so that is great. Okay, so that is great. Like I mentioned, Sol UST is always backed by UST in Anchor by depositing UST in Anchor protocol, which is on Terra, and that's why it's never under collateralized. Right now, yield can be collected by deployed, but we have plans to allow for permissionless fee collect, bridging, and dispersal. Okay, so I think they already have the bridging set in their dApp. Okay, and yeah, so just to make sure, yeah, right now yields can be collected by deployed, but we have plans to allow for permissionless fee collect, bridging, and dispersal. So basically, they're trying to improve the user experience of how all this bridging is done, and so on and so forth. How do they collect fees? How do they bridge back? And how do they disperse the interest to the holders of solUSD in Solana? All right, so that is about the interest redirection. Let's go over to the next section, which is the wormhole. Wormhole, I'm sure pretty everyone must have used it, or most of you who are listening to this must have used a wormhole. Anyways, just to touch on for the folks who are new. Wormhole, it's a cross-chain bridge, okay, which is a cross-chain bridge. It connects like different networks or different blockchains or different ledgers, whatever you want to call it, and you can bring one asset from one chain to the other, and so on and so forth, and vice versa. All right, so that's what Wormhole bridge or the cross-chain messaging system does. All right, helps you or enables you to do that. All right, and of course you can go to their website and check that. All right, but how does Solana use it? Okay, using the token bridge, that means Wormhole's token bridge, we transfer Sol UST tokens from Terra to Solana. Okay, so as I mentioned, Sol USD can live in Terra, it can live on Solana. Okay, so that's what they use the wormhole token bridge to transfer Sol USD tokens from Terra to Solana. If you have Sol USD I mean on the Terra side of things, you can bridge it, but you don't need to do that. You can if you are already on Solana, it's pretty straightforward. You don't need to bridge it. You can always use Saber, and you can convert it. You can convert like USDC into like Sol USD, and then use the dApp, which we will get into at the end of this video. All right, so make sure to check that out. But let's continue. Let's go. So Soluna, it has this token or this composable stablecoin, and this is a decentralized cross-chain stablecoin with unique interest-bearing properties. Why? Because Soluna UST, it's pegged to UST, and it's not it's like one-to-one always pegged to UST, and UST can be generated into Anchor, which is on Terra, and that's why it has this interest-bearing potential or properties into this stablecoin. All right, so it's a composable stablecoin. Just make sure. So it's fully fungible and composable like any other token, because it's a SPL token, ERC20 token, CW20 tokens, all are fully fungible. It's not a NFT or something. It's not an NFT. It's a fully fungible token. Okay, so and it's also composable between both the blockchains. Maybe in the future they're going to have other blockchains who will be able to compose stablecoin, but as of right now, just Terra and Solana. All right, so you can mint it in the dApp itself. You can redeem it. You can redeem Sol UST into UST, and you can do vice versa. Also, you can mint from USD. If you deposit USD, you can mint like Sol USD. You can do that as well. You can do that all in one interface. You don't need to go through Wormhole and so on and so forth. But the Wormhole, Pylon protocol, Anchor protocol, and yeah, All these are different types of technologies that Soluna leverages in order to combine or in order to create this whole dApp. Okay, so it's really great because like right now it's like you're composing like dApps from like different blockchains into another. This is like so good. It's like interconnectivity, it's interoperable and composable. It's so good to see. But of course, like these are all good products, and it will keep growing. And of course, like there are risks, so we are going to take a look at some of that. But before we do that, let's go ahead and just check out some of the FAQs, what they have to say. Okay. All right, so FAQs, is solUSD a stablecoin? Yes, it is a stablecoin, as we have been discussing right now. It's a stablecoin. I'm sure you are pretty familiar with what solUSD is by right now, because you're repeating over and over again. But yeah, it is a stablecoin. That's it. Okay, and it has all these interest-bearing properties embedded into it. How does Solana produce yields? Okay, so we have touched on this, of course, like Anchor protocol, it allows users to deposit UST, and then it generates yield. Approximately right now it's producing around like 19 to 20% APY for the UST holders. So basically Soluna leverages that functionality of Anchor protocol in order to generate yield for the Sol UST holders. All right, so what is the difference between UST, AUST, and Sol UST? I'm sure, like, there are so many nomenclatures of all these tokens. It's sometimes pretty insane and challenging at the same time, but it's also fun because you learn new things. Okay, and that's the whole purpose, right? Because in DeFi, it's a completely different, not different. I mean, it's a decentralized financial system that we are rebuilding from the traditional finance system. So of course, like there are new things, and we need to keep learning. Okay, but anyways, coming back to the difference between these three tokens. I'm sure you know what is UST right now. We have touched on this. It's a native stablecoin on Terra. Okay, AUST, it's an interest-bearing stablecoin. It's an interest-bearing token, which is Anchor USD. A stands for Anchor. So basically, what happens in Terra, like let me just show you Anchor. Okay, on the Terra you have Anchor protocol. So okay, if you go to Anchor protocol, you will see this. All right. So if you go, I'm sure like you already know this, but just for people who haven't done this before, if you go to Anchor protocol, you will see this earn section, and right now you see the APY is like 19.49%. All right, so once you deposit UST over here, you get AUST, Anchor UST, okay, which is an interest-bearing token, okay, which combines the principal and the interest. So that's why it's always it's more often considered to be valued more than USD because it generates the interest and also the principal amount. It combines both of them. All right, so AUSD is that, and Sol UST, as you know, it's a composable stablecoin on both on Terra and on Solana. Okay, and it is created by the Soluna DAO. All right, so that is the difference between all of that. So risk. This is I'm sure like favorite. It's I'm sure everyone's favorite. What a risk. Of course, there are all sorts of risk. Okay, but some of the risk, as you know, like smart contract risk. Soluna DAO, after all, it's a DeFi protocol. DeFi protocol in the sense it's a smart contract. All right, it's a piece of code, and of course, like these are on-chain protocols. Of course, there could be bugs, there could be exploits, there could be all sorts of other sorts of risk associated. And also, as we mentioned, they leverage different other protocols like Anchor, they leverage Wormhole, Token Bridge, and so on and so forth. So make sure to be comfortable with by knowing all these things, because they're using different protocols from these two different blockchains, and also they're using Wormhole, the bridge. They're using different protocols from these two ecosystems, right? So, and of course you can lose all your funds. I mean, I don't want to scare you with all of these, but like it's just to make sure like you are just aware of the risk and you take calculated calculated risk. Okay, so I mean that's what it's all about, right? Like I mean, and just to try out this new protocols and just try, and I mean I would just say that. And yeah, just with a very small amount, we are going to do that in just a bit. All right, so yeah, this would help you learn more because theory is theory, but like when you once you do that actually in practice, you learn actually what is it and so on and so forth. Because of course you learn about something and then you learn about something, and that's the whole rabbit hole. So there's a whole good learning process which goes into all of this. So practice and test with small amounts. But anyways, let's continue with the FAQs. Okay, so do I need to use Wormhole? So in short, you don't need to you don't need to use Wormhole. I think I've mentioned this previously. The interface itself will allow you to do the Wormhole functionality in the interface itself. So you don't need to use Wormhole token bridge directly in order to go back and forth between Terra. They help you do that. All right. So that is why it's a composable dApp, which is built using the Solana and the Terra dApps. All right. So they help you do that. All right. So what if I have solUST on Terra? If you have what if you have solUST on Terra? Just bridge it back to Solana and stake it. Bridge it back to Solana, where into Soluna DAO. Right. So how? Yeah. And as I've mentioned, solUST exists as a CW20 token contract in Terra before it's bridged. Okay, so solUST exists on both sides. Okay, so and you can use the interface, and you will have a pop-up on both the deposit and withdraw page for users to directly get out of this position. All right, so if you want to do that, you can do that as well. And what type of fees are associated with the protocol? Because of course it's a protocol, it's allowing you to, it's allowing you to leverage the high yield potential from Anchor, and they're providing you a service, right? So I mean, of course, there's a fee to that, and of course it's pretty tiny, and of course, 2.5 bips of the interest earned from Anchor is sent to Pylon Protocol to strengthen our partnership and to promote future collaboration. So as I mentioned, like they're using Pylon Protocol also, so they're using Pylon Protocol to split the interest from the principal amount that's deposited. So they have a collaboration with them, and they're taking inspiration from that protocol, and that is why they're of course they need some fee in order to the business basically, so of course that's it makes sense. And 2.5 bips is like 2.5 basis points, so just 2.5 divided by like 100. Okay, so it's like 0.025 percent. That's the fee, and they earn it on the interest, not on the principal. Okay, so they earn it on the interest, which is earned from Anchor. So that is the fee. All right. So now let's touch on the security aspect of things, and we have already done that, but just to make sure we compile it here back again. All right, so the Soluna protocol has not been audited, okay, because it's new right now, and they just came out of the DevNet and they launched staking a couple of days ago, so they're pretty new, so it's not been audited. And please read description and do your own research, and you can also investigate different other components, like you can do. You can check like the Pylon the Soluna Pylon protocol, like how they have done it. You can take out their research, and you can see the document, and you can see what they've done with Pylon. You can also take a look at the security audits, like to see all the audits conducted for Pylon protocol. Please take a look at their security page. Okay, so you can take a look at Pylon protocol, you can take a look at Anchor, and of course, if you want to check out like Wormhole bridge, you can do that as well. Just go to Wormhole and you can check out their code base, and you can make sure you feel secure enough. But anyways, if you're looking to just jump and deposit like I don't know a lot, I don't know. It's I don't think it's a good idea, but like maybe in the future, the longer the protocol stays active and is helping the users, it just keeps getting better, because there is growth, so that's why they are staying. So of course, at the moment, I would say like it's a bit risky, all right. Anyways, so that was the whole docs overview. Of course, you can take a look at it yourself. I'm going to leave the link of their website and also the white paper. You can go through that if you're interested, and you can go through all the components yourself. But I'm sure like you're aware right now what they use, how do they use. So the basic thing, just to understand right now, which we will get into just after we take a look at their tab. All right, so we have mentioned this, what's mentioned over here, we have already mentioned it. But if you come to their website, you will see it's a very basic website, and I mean it's meant to be like that, and you will see like Soluna. Okay, so we mentioned it combines two networks, right? So that's why they have like connect option. You can connect your Terra station wallet to it, and also I'm not going to do that right now. And also you have your Solana over here, right here. All right, so just give me a moment. All right, so you can connect your Terra wallet, and you can connect your like Solana wallet over here, and you have two different functionalities. One is you can mint solUST, and also you can stake solUST. All right, so we are going to be taking a look into that. And just to make sure, like if you do some Googling, if you go to I just found this, and this was on March 1st. They launched their staking, and also if I was following them on Twitter, and of course you can do that as well. And yeah, once they launched their staking for the first time, like I mean, the new Sol USD crate just rebased for the first time. Okay, and the API is like sky high on Sol money. Of course, it rebased for the first time, and the APY was high. Of course, that means I'll leave it up to you if it's good or bad. But anyways, like high APY means more risk, and you should be just aware of that. But anyways, I think most people using DeFi protocols like risk, to a certain extent, but it's very subjective, depending on different people, right? So, yeah. But anyways, this is what I found, and of course, it keeps fluctuating as you see right now. Or the stake APY, it's 27.89%. But I'm sure like this is an hour ago or so. It was like before we started the video, it was around like 32, something like that. So it just keeps fluctuating up and down, right? So depending on different mechanics between both the networks. All right, so they have this mint function. Let's see what they say over here. As you see right now, this number, as you see over here right now, the total staked amount a couple of days ago, it was just 113,000, 113.5 thousand. Right now, it's like 2. Let's see. what is it? Total staked is around like 1.9 million. Okay, so you see people are using this and they are making the most of like this APY over here. And yeah, since it's a stable coin, it's one-to-one pegged with USD. I would say like, it all depends on USD. And as if you have seen my previous videos, there are different types of like mechanics which involves like the mint and burn functionality between like Luna and USD. So if you want to mint USD, you need to burn Luna, all right? So and if you burn Luna, the price keeps going up, all right? So and if you want to mint Luna, you need to burn USD, okay? So you need to reduce the supply and increase the supply in order to balance the peg in order to maintain that whole ecosystem because it's an algorithmic stablecoin, right? Like the USD. But anyways, just go back to one of my videos I've done previously, and you will understand that aspect of it. But I'm sure like some of you already know that, so they use that. But anyways, so here in on the stakes, let's go to the mint first. All right, let's see how they do the mint. Okay, so solUSD is a composable stablecoin designed to bridge Anchor Protocol's high yield savings to Solana. All right, so we have discussed this going through their docs, and also we have discussed this. Every solUSD is backed one-to-one by USD on Terra. All USD deposited into Soluna is staked into Anchor to generate revenue for the DAO. All right, so that's how they do that, and we know that we are pretty aware of that right now. Okay, it's one-to-one backed, and they use Anchor's high yield APYs, or like you deposit USD in Anchor, and that's what they do that for you. And you don't need to go to you don't need to go to Terra's Anchor protocol. You can just be using like Soluna, and they will do it for you. Right, the DAO will do it for you, and they will take a fee of 2.5 basis points. All right, and yeah, to create solUSD, or in order to mint solUSD, you must have both a Solana and a Terra wallet. After depositing USD to Soluna on Terra, you will receive solUSD in your Solana wallet. Okay, so as you see, like in order to mint solUSD, you need to have both wallets, all right? So, but you basically like this is for like if you are in Terra and you want to bridge it over to Solana, you need to have like both wallets. But if you are already on Solana, I will show you like a different way in order how you can get solUSD in just a bit. All right, but like if you're on Terra and if you're looking to use this protocol in order to mint solUSD from Terra protocol, you need to have both the wallets because you need to bridge like you need to connect like you need to bridge like the USD, and that's once you deposit like they say over here, you deposit USD on Terra and you will receive Sol USD on Solana. Okay, so in your Terra Station wallet, which is the Terra's main wallet, you need to have USD in order to mint like Sol USD on Solana, and that's why you need to have both the wallets. But if you're already on Solana, I will show you like how to do that. Okay, so let's say for example, like I use Saber a lot. I'm sure like most of you also use Saber a lot. It's a lovely AMM and it's a stable swap. So just go ahead over there and let's say connect your wallet. Let's see if I'm already connected. Hopefully. Okay. Um, hmm, let's see if that works. Okay, so that seemed to work. All right. So, anyways, let's say you are already on Solana, okay, and you already have some token. In my case, like let's say I have some USDC, okay, and since Saber is a stable swap, and since we already know Sol USD is also a composable stable coin which exists in Solana, on Solana, and also it exists on Terra. But since we are a user of Solana, what we like, say, if you're already using Solana, what you could do is you could just interchange like your USDC, whatever stablecoin you have. There are different types of stablecoin. You can just convert it to solUST right here. All right. So as you see, if you just type like solUST right here, you will get solUST, and you can just like swap it in the interface itself. Okay, so I'm going to just do that, and for you, in this case, I'm not minting solUST. Okay, I'm just directly interchanging like my USDC into solUST, because we know both are stable coins and it can be done using Saber. All right, so that's great. Yeah, so let's go ahead and approve this transaction, and hopefully it's done. Come on. Okay, so anyways, until that's done, okay, so that's done, all right. So now I have Sol UST, all right. So that's how you can actually do it. Okay, so if you, so one thing to remember, if you're a Terra user and you want to mint Sol UST, you gotta have like both wallets. But if you're already a Solana user, you can use the method which I just showed you. You can use Saber and you can convert from one stablecoin to another. But you say, hey Jimmy, I don't have a stablecoin on Solana. How do I do that? Of course, like just go to Jupiter, you know, let's say you have like Solana. Let's say you have Solana, okay, for example, on your Phantom wallet, because that's the wallet what I use. You could be using different wallets, Solflare or other wallets. That's also great. But whatever wallet you use, let's say you have Solana, the native token in your wallet. Okay, so basically what you would do is you would convert the Sol into USDC or any other stable coin. But in this case, I tried to search like Jupiter, and at the moment, solUST is not yet listed in Jupiter, okay? But if that was already listed, I'm sure they're going to do that in the future. You can directly swap like Sol to like solUST. I'm sure like most of you already know that, but if you're new to DeFi, if you want to know how to do that and how to get that, you can use Jupiter, okay? But since Jupiter doesn't have that, and if you just have Sol, you just swap Sol to USDC, and then you go to Saber, you use the stable swap like USDC into like Sol USD. You can do that because Saber is always stable swap. Okay, so it just like, let's say over here, like if you select like Sol, okay, if you just select Sol, it will give you like all the other variations of Sol that you can swap to. All right, so that's great. So that's what you can do on Saber, and Jupiter, as you know, it's a DEX aggregator and helps you with like the best rates. But at the moment, I don't see Sol UST listed in their token list. But that's the reason why I use Saber. But you can do that directly on Jupiter itself, like in the future, and they'll give you the best prices. Like if you see over here, like let's say point two, if I just say Sol, and it will find the best route for you. All right, so if you see 213 routes found, you will always get, and just swap it directly. And this is going to be the same logic would apply when they list Sol UST over here. All right, so in that way you can directly get Sol UST. All right, so just for you to know. All right. Now, coming back to the Solana dApp itself. So yeah, after depositing UST on Solana Terra, you will receive Sol UST. You don't have to go through this last part if you are already a Solana user. You can just use Saber and Jupiter whenever Jupiter listed. You can get the Sol UST. Now I've already done that, right? Like I've already got some Sol UST in my wallet. And now what I can do is I don't need to use the mint functionality if I haven't minted it. So you don't have to worry about that. You can just bypass all of that, and you can directly come to like stake. But if you are minting here, if you're a Terra user and if you're minting here, you can just like click on like just deposit if you have like Sol USD. I mean, sorry, if you have UST on your Terra Station wallet or any other wallet that you use on Terra, you can, if you have USD on that wallet, that's great. So just come here and type the amount, whatever you want to use. Like let's say you want to use like 300 USD, which is on your Terra wallet, and you want to deposit that, and you want to mint solUSD, you can just connect your wallet, and you will keep getting all those pop-ups, of your wallets, and you just need to go ahead and approve that. And once that's the whole process, it's very seamless. I've done it actually. I've tried it. It's pretty seamless, and you just need to click buttons, and then yeah, you'll be done. In order to do that, you need to connect both the wallets, right? Because you're depositing from Terra, and then it's coming over to your Solana wallet. And this bridging and everything, like we discussed in the docs, it's all going to be done using the wormhole bridge. That's what they're going to use it, so you don't have to actually use wormhole bridge, right? But it's pretty user friendly if you're already on Solana. And once you're on Solana, you got solUSD, you converted your stablecoin, you got solUSD and all that stuff, all that good stuff. Now you can come to the stake section, and as you've seen, 1.9 mil right now, the 27% APY. It fluctuates, is variable. As you've seen, like once the first rebase was done, it was like 225. But yeah, and what do they have to say over here? We have discussed this, but anyways, just to elaborate a bit more, since we are in this section right now. So solUSD earns interest from Anchor Protocol on Terra. Rewards earned are distributed back to solUSD holders on Solana. Okay, so we know that. Okay, so solUSD is always earning interest from Anchor Protocol on Terra. How? Because once you stake solUSD, solUSD is always one-to-one pegged with USD on the Terra side of things, and once if it's on Terra side of things, it can be the Soluna DAO. What they do is they deposit it directly into Anchor, and that's how they generate interest, and they give it back to you as well. All right, so they distribute it back to the solUSD holders. All right, so right now, Soluna uses Crate protocol to distribute rewards. Okay, and what is Crate protocol? You just need to be aware. Crate protocol, they use by like other dApps as well. I'm aware like Cash.io app or something. But let's see. If you just Google Crate over here, and you can see what the protocol does. Yeah, at the moment, like they have this Cash.io app, which is another stablecoin which is native to Solana, and a sol, which is it's an aggregated sol. Okay, it's a standard for all the staked sol tokens. Okay, which you can find it on Saber if you just type a sol, um, a sol. Yeah, aggregated Solana stake pool. Okay, so these are this is what Crate is trying to do. They are trying to create their own ecosystem, and Soluna also uses Crate protocol in order to distribute the rewards. Okay, so they use Crate protocol on the Solana side of things in order to distribute the rewards to whom? To the Sol USD holders. Okay, so that's it. All right, right now I'm going to go ahead, since I've swapped some of my USDC, or all what I had in my wallet, into Sol USD. I'm going to go ahead and connect my wallet to Soluna. Yeah, and previously I was trying out, so I deposited like some amount just to try out, and I deposited like 300 Sol USD. As you see over here, once I connected my wallet, it just reflected directly. All right, so if you want to unstake it, you can just go ahead and unstake it, and it'll be unstaked. Okay, of course, like there's a certain fee, so they take that fee, but apart from that, everything um, uh, will be deposited back to your wallet. And if you take a look into the wallet, you would be see. So as you see over here, Sol USD, the logo is something like this. All right. So, but in the wallet as of right now, since it's pretty new, so um, I think you'll see like an unknown token. But let's see if they've updated it. So what does it what does it mean? It's unknown token. It doesn't mean anything to be scared of. It just means like it's pretty new. Okay, we are pretty early. Okay, so that's what it means. All right. And I've been following Soluna since like they were in DevNet. Okay, it's good to see that they have a product right now and you can do something with the product. You can at least take it. So this is what you will see. Like this is the token as you see. Like I swapped like USDC into some Sol USD. So this is what I've swapped for, and this is the one which is already staked. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the stake section and I'm going to select like max, and as you see like that 562, which is an unknown token in my wallet at the moment. At the later stage, you're going to have all these logos, like as you see over here. I'm sure you all are aware. Like, let's just give it a second. Mhm, mhm, mhm. 1 second. Let's see what happens here. Okay, come on, Phantom load. Okay, so as you see, there are like different logos for different tokens. In at a later stage, you're gonna have the same. You're gonna have a Sol USD, the logo right here, which appear. All right. So, but as of right now, let's just go ahead and stake it. All right. So stake, click, click. It's the same thing once you do the mint. You just need to click and approve on both the sides in order to process or bridge or mint. The Sol UST that you need from your UST, which exists on Solana. But in this case, we are just staking because we already converted. We are a Solana users. It's much more user friendly, or much more easier. No need to connect. And but overall, like the experience is like very very straightforward. You just need to click buttons. But anyways, in this case, I'm just going to do that as well. So let's hope it works. Okay, just give it a moment. They're doing multiple things, right? So it takes some time in order to do that. But anyways, let's see. All right, so overall, until that happens, just to give it like a whole recap of the entire process. Of course, what we have seen is we have studied the whole entire process, how Solana works. Okay, it says staking tokens. Just try again. So sometimes it happens if it takes longer than like 30 seconds, it just like Solana just like cancels it. Okay, so it shouldn't take more than 30 seconds. Otherwise, just cancel it and stake it again. But anyways, to recap the whole thing, we have checked out their docs. I will leave the links for you to check them out. We have seen how to do staking with that. We have seen how you can do minting how you can mint Sol USD if you are a Terra user. We have seen all the details, how Soluna generates interest by using Anchor protocol on the Terra ecosystem side of things, and all that good stuff, right? So make sure to go do your own research, please, and try it out. So as you have seen, like right now, I already had 300, and now I added in like 562, and now I have some amount staked. All right, so you can go ahead and do that as well. Stake if you want to stake whatever amount you're comfortable with, just go ahead and stake that. Okay, but it's all up to you, and you should always do that in practice in order for you to learn faster. It's better than just going through the theory. I hate theory, like I hate theories. I just want to do that in practice, and see, I'm sure like most of you are like that. Most of you want to practice it yourself, and most of you also hate going through all that docs, but it's a good thing that you always need to go through the docs in order to understand all the details and all that stuff, which you have explained right now. All right, so I hope this was useful. I hope you learned not just about the Soluna DAO and the protocol itself, but I have explained and elaborated and shared my thoughts on different aspects as well across both the Solana and the Terra ecosystem. So I hope this was useful, and yeah, make sure to just give it a thumbs up, and yeah, let me know what you think not about the video, but what you think about this protocol and so on and so forth. I'd love to discuss and get different perspectives from you as well. All right, so I really appreciate it because I go through all the comments, and I'd love if you do that as well. All right, so take care. Have a nice Thursday. Have a nice evening wherever you are, or afternoon, morning, GM, everyone GM, and I'll see you when I see you. All right, bye now. Cheers.